Hey everyone, welcome to my second IGTV video or second IGTV flow, and today we will do a little bit of backbends because backbends are always a great idea. Okay, so let's start in your tabletop position, sitting your palms right underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Then make sure that you are spreading your fingers here already, maybe even gripping the mat with them, trying to bring more weight onto the inner knuckles, then onto your waist. Then as you inhale, you can start doing your cat cow, but you can also try to roll your spine, so learning how to separate or isolate each part of your spine, starting from the low back, keeping your belly in to bring a little bit more safety there, so a little bit more engagement from the front, while you will bend the back side by pointing the sitting bones up, and then you try to bring the bend also a little bit more towards the center of your spine, and then by squeezing the shoulder blades down or bringing the chest lower, you'll open the upper spine. Then you can also imagine you want to slide the shoulder blades down towards your hips, or rolling the shoulders away from your ears. Maybe you add also your neck, which is a part of your spine. Maybe you look up, and as you exhale, go the other way. So first pointing the sitting bones down, and that straightens and rounds a little bit your low back, and continuing with the middle back. Keep resisting with your gaze. That goes last, your chin to chest. Inhaling, rolling slowly. So the slower you go, the slower you will be able, or the better you will be at your rolls. And then to your rounded position as you exhale. Inhaling forward and up. Exhale. And two more. Inhale. And exhale. And then my favorite one for opening the shoulders also along with your upper chest is the puppy pose. I like to enter it from an engaged position or from an elongated, because back bends are actually extensions of the spine, and you want to extend first, so make the spine longer before you bend it. So you can walk your hands or even your fingertips forward while keeping the hips over your knees. And then you try to point your sitting bones back so your low back gets straight, and then you try to reach forward. Your ears end up in between your upper arms, and you keep your belly in and you stretch your spine super long, also wrapping your triceps in or your armpits in. Inhaling here for length, and as you exhale, you try to bring your forehead down, your chest lower, maybe your chin comes down towards the ground. Try to keep your elbows really long, and then just observe where you are feeling it. If it is your shoulders, or if you feel your chest, if you can feel the muscles right behind your chest engaging, so helping to open your chest. And you can stay here for a little bit longer if you want, so as long as you need to. Just keep breathing. Once you want to come up from it, press through your palms. Also point your sitting bones back. Find your spine long again, and then walk your fingers, your palms, underneath your shoulders again. One more inhale for your cow tilt, and exhale to your cat pose. So every time your hips are closed, you are helping to bring more attention into your upper back, and also if your shoulders are open to your shoulders, because these two parts are really hard to open. We are not used to do that, and usually when we back bend, we bend in the more natural part of our spine, which is low back, while in a hollow back where the hips are bent, the low back can stay a little bit longer, and we don't feel it that much, and then we can focus more on opening our upper back and shoulders. That's why I really enjoy hollow backs, because they really teach you how to open these two parts that should be collaborating or should be in the back bend a little bit more. So the next thing that you can try is to find a wall and open your upper back and your shoulders in a little bit passive way, using gravity in a hollow back pincha or hollow back forearm stand. So if you have your forearm stand, then you can do that without using a wall. If you have a wall, or I don't suggest doors because they can open and that can lead to injury. So it's better if you have something that you know where you are safe, okay? Sometimes you don't have a wall in the apartment, so maybe a wardrobe will do if it is very stable. So you can come in towards almost like a preparation for a headstand, bringing your elbows really, really close. So don't open them that much to the side. Try to bring your elbows even closer than your shoulders, because there is a skin right underneath your elbows that will move, and the moment you press away from your arms, usually the elbows wants to slide to the sides, and you need to find a stable position for your elbows. If your elbows will be too wide, then you don't have much stability, and they will slide maybe even on the ground and maybe you will find your elbows, the skin a little bit scratched also. So try to keep them close. Also, I like to press my palms together. That helps me to bring my elbows or to keep them together so they don't go to the side. So I use my palms to not allow the elbows to go wide. Then from here, you just bring your head on top of your palms or your forearms. Walk your feet in and you kick one leg and then the other will follow towards your wall. And then you need to press away from your arms. So this requires a little bit of strength or even body awareness how to do that. So you can also train this press up in your dolphin pose. Once you press all the way away from your elbows, your shoulders super long, then you try to bring your hips back. So if you started very far away from the wall as me, your hips will have hard time to find the wall. So try to start as close to the wall as possible to begin with. Finding your hips on the wall. You can keep your legs extended or you can bend them if that feels better. So try different position for your legs, and then try to bring your chest all the way forward with your hips going all the way back, still pressing away from your elbows. Then once you have enough, you just kick your legs away from the wall and slowly try to control that, not to collapse on the ground. Coming to sitting on your heels, and then you can stay there. If you feel your head a little bit light, then you can take a child's pose afterwards, because it's an inversion, so you need some time for your blood to come back or to find its place in your arteries and veins. Okay, so this is very nice to open your shoulders and your upper back. Then for the other parts, because we will lead to a full wheel at the end, and for the wheel, a next part of your body that is important are your hips and your thighs. So find Andreas on our lowland with one leg forward and the other back. I really like to do this pose a lot because it's really great for opening the front hips. Keep your legs engaged the whole time, so try to make them really pressing down towards the ground, especially with the front heel. That helps you a little bit to engage your hamstrings, and you will need your hamstrings in every back bend, so you need to learn how to use them. Then you can also press with the back foot. Find your engagement in your core, in your belly, in your ribs. Then raise your arms up, so your belly and your hips are not collapsing all the way down. Everything is engaged here. And then release the right palm here if your right leg is forward, and try to reach a little bit higher with your left, and side bend to your right side, away from your open hip. Belly in. You can also release your forearm on your knee. You can bring your fingertips down on the ground, or if you have a block, on the block, and then try to find a stretch in your front hips. And then come slowly up and exhale. Bring your fingertips down and just switch your legs. So the left leg comes forward. First come a little bit higher. Press from your front heel and back foot, if it is tucked or untucked, so your toes can be wherever it feels better for your knee. Inhale here, and exhale, try to bring your hips a little bit lower, but squeeze them together. Then reach your arms up, and exhale, release the left arm, go a little bit deeper with your hips, a little bit higher with your right arm, and exhale, side bend towards your left. Keep bringing the chest a little bit higher, the belly away from your front leg, trying to go for length again. Instead of collapsing forward here, it's supposed to be good for your back bend, so you don't want to forward fold here. Take one more breath here. And then come up, inhale, stretch towards the ceiling, and exhale. Palms down, step the left leg back. The another pose for opening the chest that I really like is knees, chest, chin. So anytime you are doing, we are preparing for back bends, instead of chaturangas, you can do knees, chest, chin. It can be also found from your tabletop. So inhale into your cow tilt, arching the spine down, maybe even looking up. Try to roll the shoulders back towards your hips. Then as you're rolling them back, you find your elbows that they want to wrap towards you, and this helps you to find also your knees, chest, chin. So leaning your chest forward bending the elbows, squeezing them in towards you, bringing the chin down and the chest eventually. So although your chest is down, don't just rely to your weight here. Don't, again, try to find an engagement here. So you can use your palms, still pressing them down and rolling the shoulders away from you. Try to also find less weight on your chin. So as if you wanted to lift the chin, and then imagine you want to bring the knees towards you a little bit more. So it's almost like a little squeeze that you're trying to find here. And then release the tops of your feet, move your palms underneath your shoulders, and you can roll your spine here slowly, starting from your hips again, ending with your belly on all the way on the mat. So for every back bend, we need a little bit of strength also in the back side. It's not just using, again, your body to squeeze something passively, but it's always great if you can engage your muscles, especially if you are not naturally flexible, as I am. A great way to find a little bit more strength in your back is with cobra lifts. So bring your fingers behind your ears and then make sure that your feet are engaged. You're pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. Your kneecaps will lift away from the ground. Try to find a little bit engagement also maybe in your hamstrings. Bring your belly in and then inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, release down. Inhale, lift, and exhale. So every time you lift, you imagine you want to squeeze the shoulder blades and you want to send them down and release. Inhale and release. This time inhaling, looking to the right side, and exhale. Inhale, look to the left, exhale. Still the legs are super engaged. Inhale to the right, exhale. Inhale to the left, exhale. And take a break. You can use your forearms as pillows. For your forehead, you can tuck your toes, move your hips right, left. This should be all mostly in your upper back. The lifts should be engaged from your neck and your upper back. Also, the more you lift your head, the less weight you will have to somehow bear. So it's also great if you are not, you can of course do it with your neck long, but it's always easier if you lift the front part first. There is much less pressure, or you don't need that much strength to lift the next part of your spine, right? So if you go more with your head first and then you lift, it's a little bit easier than if you keep your neck long and you lift. You need to use much more strength. Okay, palms are near to your floating ribs. Press the knees down, tuck the toes, belly in, squeeze the elbows as you press up into your tabletop again. Okay, now we will lift the right leg and then kick it up and look forward. Again, not opening the hips to the side. Keep squeezing your inner thighs. They help to make your pelvis a little bit more neutral. And then lean forward. Again, squeezing the elbows in, bringing the chin down towards the mat and the chest also. From here, if you search for a little bit more opening of the back, you can tuck your left toes and then use your palms so you don't collapse here on your chest, almost as if you wanted to lift your chest. Then maybe you bring your left knee away from the ground. Inhale here Exhale, both knees bend towards the ground. Move the palms forward. Roll your belly on the ground. Lift the chest. You can go to your upward dog from here, sliding the palms right where your lower ribs are. And then you can get your feet into the ground. Squeeze the elbows. You press away from the ground. Roll the shoulders back. Belly stays in. Inhale. Exhale. Back to your tabletop position. We'll do the other leg. So bring your knees underneath your hips. Belly in. Lift the left foot, the left knee. Inhale. Raise the leg up. Keep it engaged all the way to your toes. You can also add a little bit of chest here, trying to roll the shoulders back. Inhale, belly in. Exhale, lean forward, bend the elbows, knees just chin, tuck the right toes. Keep your arms very, very active as you lift the right knee away. Inhale and exhale. Release the knees down, one next to the other. Move the palms forward. Roll onto your belly. Lift the chest. Maybe lift everything. Exhale. Take a down dog from here. Down dog is a great pose to bring the length back to your spine. So try to press away from your fingers, from your shoulders. Bring more engagement into your belly. Maybe pointing your sitting bones up, but also bringing your ribs in. So your spine finds all the length in it. And then release the knees down. Okay, so for any kind of back bend where you are not basically lying, so where you are supported with your legs, you need your thighs a little bit or a lot to train your thighs so they are a little bit stronger for your back bends. You can do either this kind of lowering yourself in one line, either on your knees. I don't know how to call this. Plank. I don't know. So this exercise, or you can do a standing one. Bringing your feet hips width, so the feet are parallel to each other. And then you bring your heels up. You hold somewhere. You can keep your arms forward. Whatever feels good for you. Then you keep your belly and your butt squeezing as you send your knees forward. And you lean your whole torso, your hips, and thighs back. And slowly coming up. Keep your heels lifted. And go 2 more times. Keep your inner thighs engaged all the time here. And lift. Belly in. Squeeze your hips, your glutes. And come a little bit lower. And then lift. And release the heels. So every time you do chair pose, basically you're training your thighs also. You can do several versions of chairs. The classic one is with your feet hips width, where you lower your hips and you move your hips a little bit back and reach your arms up. From here, you want to keep squeezing your butt slightly, leaning all the way back, reaching your arms a little bit higher. keeping your belly engaged, even looking forward, and then sitting a little bit lower. So your thighs needs to be burning right now. They need to work. Slowly coming up, inhale, and release. Shake your legs. All right, so moving to your wheel pose. Whichever way you want to, we will come to our wheel pose from lying on our backs. So every time you are trying to bring weight on your hips, but also on your shoulders, you want to keep them in the safest position. So trying to find, especially for the shoulders, because they are the most movable joints in your arms, and they are very tricky. They are not built to bear weight. They're more built for you to hang from something. You need to find the best position in them. And in hips, it's also important because you want to find the nice elongation of your low back instead of just breaking it there. That's why we are trying to find in a little bit of almost like an internal rotation in your legs or in your hips, and an external rotation in our upper arms. Slowly lower yourself on your back if you already didn't. Then bring your feet hips width again. Don't open the feet out to the side, so try to keep them facing forward. And also try to engage your middle thighs or inner thighs at all times. And this helps for your pelvis to be supported and therefore to be pointing the right direction for the low back to be very, very long. For the arms, so you first lift your hips up, and same as going for your bridge. Try to press from your heels. You can also squeeze the outer butt, outer hips or outer glutes, just so your knees don't open to the sides. You don't want to squeeze the middle part of your glutes. You are also using your inner thighs to not allow your middle part of your glutes to squeeze. From here, find more engagement in your belly. Then place the fingers or the palms near your ears, so the fingers are facing a little bit to the side. So never place your palms that your weight will end up on the outer edge of your palms. Try to find a little bit outer kind of position. There you can realize that more the inner side of your palm can be on the ground. So your elbows are really closing towards your face almost. And first you press through your palms and you lift yourself, so you end up with your head on the ground. And this is where you can finish. This is maybe where you start to train your arms to lift you and support you. So your fingers are facing a little bit out, and then you try to press up. And this might be it. If you feel like you can go all the way up, press all the way up, and try to keep your elbows not to split the sides. From there, if you feel like you need to, you can lift your heels. It's totally okay. If your heels are lifted or not, doesn't matter. Try to reach your chest forward, trying to bring more elongation into your elbows and into your armpits. Use your legs here to press your chest forward, and don't open the knees again to the sides. From there, maybe you will find yourself that you can bring your heels down. Press away. When you want to come out of it, bring the chin in towards your chest, bending the elbows slowly with control, releasing your neck and your upper back down, and rolling the rest of the spine on the mat. Alright, bring your feet mat wide, your palms to your belly and to your chest. Your knees can come together. Big inhale. Feel your heartbeat racing. Another breath. And try to calm it down with your exhale. Okay, so if you want to continue, you can take another wheel pose. Make sure that you are not hurting your low back. So if you feel a little bit of discomfort there, try to maybe really bring the heels higher and bring the bend more forward into your upper back and shoulders by reaching your chest forward. If you feel your shoulders, that's also possible. Then work on those shoulder opening, the puppy pose or the hollow back at the wall that we did. So they are both very great poses. Slowly bring your knees towards your chest. Squeeze them in towards you. You can roll your knees to one side to the other. And then take two twists or twist to both sides here. So bringing your knees first to the right side, allowing the knees to fall towards the ground. But try to keep the opposite shoulder on the ground also. In order to keep or bring your spine long and straight, you can bring your knees a little bit closer. So the knees should be at least at the level of your navel, of your belly button. And you can use your right palm here to help you in the twist, even looking all the way to the left. And then coming slowly towards the middle. Squeeze the knees in first, open the right arm all the way to the right, and slowly the knees will go to your left, looking towards your right fingertips. So inhale, try to reach through your right fingertips as you exhale, squeezing the belly, and imagine the back bend, the twist, more in your chest, more in the thoracic part of your spine. And then come to the middle. And then roll back and forth here, bringing also your forehead towards your knees, holding underneath your knees. Sitting all the way up and extending the legs forward. Taking one forward fold, seated forward fold here. You can bend the knees. Try to reach your chest forward. Don't go full on rounded spine right away. Try to fold with your spine long. So again, you want to find little spaces or more space in between your vertebrae first before you bend it. The same applies in your back bends, but also in your forward fold if you want to round in your forward fold. First, reach your chest forward. Inhale. You can hold on to something on your feet or your ankles and pull them back. And exhaling, squeeze your core, your belly, your ribs in, and go a little bit deeper. Deeper means forward, not down towards your legs. If you want, after a while, maybe you're feeling your hamstrings a little bit less, you can walk your heels a little bit more forward. Inhale, reach the chest forward, and exhale. Okay, slowly inhaling, look forward and release. If you want, from here, you can reach your arms forward, roll yourself down onto your mat, take a Shavasana if you need to. Otherwise, thank you for practicing with me. I hope you have a nice day. Namaste.